The Galactic Council had ruled the known universe for 3 millennia. 17 species bowed to their wisdom, their justice, their absolute authority. The humans had been the 18th, young, ambitious, and foolishly optimistic about their place among the stars. Ambassador Sarah Chen was only 24 when she stood before the council chambers on Nexus Prime, her small frame dwarfed by the towering crystalline beings of Zephyria and the massive, tentacled Kraken Lords. She clutched her datapad with trembling fingers, presenting humanity's case for expanded mining rights in the Outer Rim. "The proposal is denied," Councillor Thexvar announced, his voice resonating through multiple dimensions. "Humans lack the evolutionary sophistication to handle such responsibility." Sarah's jaw tightened. "With respect, Councillor, our efficiency ratings exceed." Silence. "Primitive." The words came from High Arbiter Veltash, whose species had held the Council's highest position for 800 years. "Your kind multiplies like parasites and consumes resources with no regard for cosmic balance." The other ambassadors shifted uncomfortably. Sarah had made friends among some of the younger species. The Altarians particularly appreciated human innovation. But none dared speak against the Council's inner circle. "I understand your concerns," Sarah said carefully. "But if you examine our terraforming data from the Kepler colonies..." "Enough." Veltash's bioluminescent patterns flared angry red. "You will accept the Council's judgment or face the consequences of defiance." Sarah straightened her spine. At 5'2", she barely reached the shoulder of the shortest council member, but her voice carried the weight of humanity's determination. "Then I formally request a tribunal under Article 7 of the Galactic Compact. Every species has the right to..." The energy beam struck her before she could finish the sentence. Sarah's body crumpled to the polished floor. Smoke rising from the hole burned through her chest. The chamber fell into stunned silence. "Let this be a lesson," Veltash declared. "Insubordination will not be tolerated." The message reached Earth 16 hours later. President Martinez received it in the Situation Room, surrounded by military leaders whose faces grew darker with each transmitted word. The recording showed everything: Sarah's final defiant words, the casual murder, the Council's dismissive laughter. "They killed an ambassador," General Harrison said, his voice barely controlled. "They executed a diplomat under their own protection. They called us parasites," Admiral Zhao added grimly. "And they think we'll just accept this." President Martinez stared at the freeze frame of Sarah's face. Young, determined, forever silenced. "How long to mobilize the fleets?" 36 hours for full deployment," Harrison replied. "But sir, they outnumber us 17-1. Their technology has been stagnant for 1,000 years," Martinez interrupted. "While they were playing politics, we were evolving." Sarah understood that. It's why they killed her. Across Earth, the same conversation was happening in bunkers, aboard space stations, in the hidden research facilities that the Council had never bothered to investigate. Humanity had learned long ago that survival meant staying one step ahead of extinction. The first Council fleet arrived at the edge of the Sol system expecting token resistance. Instead, they found empty space and sensor ghosts. The asteroid belt, once rich with mining operations, appeared deserted. Even Luna Base showed no energy signatures. "Where are they?" Commodore Kethral demanded from the bridge of his flagship. The Altarian had served the Council faithfully for 2 centuries, though Sarah's death had left him troubled. His answer came in the form of a single human transmission, broadcast on all frequencies. President Martinez appeared on every screen in the Council fleet, his expression carved from stone. "You killed our daughter," he said simply. Sarah Chen was 24 years old. She believed in diplomacy and peace and finding common ground among the stars. You murdered her for speaking truth to power. The transmission cut to footage from a dozen worlds, human colonies that had seemingly vanished overnight, their populations evacuated to coordinates unknown. "You think you understand warfare," Martinez continued. "You fought conventional battles with fleets and armies, winners and losers, treaties and surrenders. But you've never fought humans. You've never faced a species that learned war in the cradles of civilization, that spent millennia perfecting the art of making enemies disappear." The first Council ship exploded without warning, then the second. The third managed to raise shields before the invisible attackers struck again. "Cloaking technology," Kethral breathed, but his tactical officer was already shaking his head. No, Commodore. The energy signatures. It's like they're not there at all. On 17 council worlds, the lights went out simultaneously. Not just city lights, everything. Power grids, defensive networks, communication arrays, life support systems. The infrastructure that connected their vast empire simply stopped working. The humans had spent 50 years quietly integrated into galactic society, learning every system, mapping every weakness. While the council debated philosophy, human engineers had been planting the seeds of their enemy's destruction. Within 72 hours, it was over. The council fleets hung dead in space, their crews gasping in the darkness. Their worlds fell silent, populations fleeing to primitive settlements as their technological civilization crumbled. Humanity didn't conquer them, that would have been wasteful. Instead, they simply switched off the council's ability to project power, to communicate, to exist as anything more than scattered survivors on backwater planets. The message from Earth came on the fourth day, transmitted to every functioning receiver in council space. Sarah Chen believed in justice. In her memory, we offer you the same choice you gave her. Accept our judgment or face the consequences of defiance. But unlike you, we won't pull the trigger on an unarmed diplomat. We'll just make sure you never threaten another one again. The recording ended with an image that would haunt the former council species for generations. Sarah's diplomatic credentials floating in space above their broken homeworlds, a reminder that some things should never be crossed. Humanity had kept its promise. They hadn't just retaliated, they had ensured that the council would never again mistake mercy for weakness, youth for inexperience, or diplomacy for surrender. The galaxy was quiet now, and it would stay that way,